Exactly. Well, no, there are some important lives to live. Yeah. Not life or death, brother. Okay. So we were up to the last stages of this sugya. We are about to finish Psul Krovim, Baruch Hashem. And I said before, if anyone wants to play a game, take the sheets from the rest of the year and try to fit them to which Gemara they connected to. I have sheets all over. Okay, so the Mishnah said the following. The Mishnah starts off on Chav Zayin Amud Beis, teaches us all the Krovim, and then Rabbi Yossi said, Zu Mishnah Rabbi Kiva, Mishnah Rishona Dodo Ben Dodo. It's all Tali and Rali Yerusha. And then the Mishnah says the following: Hayakarov v'nisrachek hareza kosher. If a person is a karov, a relative, and then he is no longer related to them, he is kosher. Now, just to qualify here, it's not in the Gemara. Let's say he was. Rashi says Hayakarov kegon chasno sharoi liyorsho. I had a son-in-law. V'nisrachek. How is he nisrachek? Shemesa ishto kodem shara edasu. Now, Rashi says kodem shara edasu. There is a Gemara Baba Basra in Yesh Neichlin on Kuf Chav Ches Amud Beis. The Gemara says v'hura o yada. There's two stages to edus. There's edus bishas re'iyah, and then there's the edus bishas haggadah. Okay, there's the actual testimony, and then there's the re'iyas hamaisa, the witnessing. So the psulim already exist from the time of re'iyah. So that's what Rashi is referring to over here. We're assuming over here that the richuk happened before you even got any partial name of a witness to this testimony, way before even the re'iyas hamaisa. Rabbi Yehuda says, no, not so fast. Just because you were nisrachik before the re'iyah, says Rabbi Yehuda Omer afilu meisa bito v'yesh lo banim mimenu harei zekarov. If you had a daughter and the daughter died, but there are grandchildren from that relationship, those grandchildren keep that connection alive, and therefore you would be puzzled with this son-in-law testifying on your behalf even after she died and severed the relationship.
But it matters whether she died before Re'iyah or after Re'iyah?
No. Even if Rabbi Yehuda wants to say, even if she died before Re'iyah, the fact that she has children at the time of Re'iyah, that invalidates. Rabbi Yossi, and the Tanakama says absolutely not. Karav and Israchik makes no difference whether or not you have children or you have no children. You are not related before you became an aid. Okay? So that's the Gemara that we're commenting on. Rabbi Yehuda Omer. Amar of Tamchon, Amar of Tavla, Amar of Bruna. Amar Rav, Halacha Rabbi Yehuda. The halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda according to all of those Amaran. Rava Amar of Nachman, Ein Halacha Rabbi Yehuda. Machlekes, Huda Paskin like. This is going to have tremendous implications. La halacha. V'chein Amar Rabba Baruch Chana, Amar of Yochanan, Ein Halacha Rabbi Yehuda. Ika demasli lo lahada Rabba Baruch Chana aha azu darsh Rabbi Yossi Aglili. Rabbi Yossi Aglili had a drasha. Ubasa elakoyanim haleviyim velashoifet asher bayamim ahim. Where's this pasuk? Shoftim. So if you remember, without reading on, what does Rashi say? Rashi comments on this pasuk. Ubasa lashoifet asher yeh bayamim ahim. The Torah tells you you're coming to a shofet that is bayamim ahim. So Rashi there comments what? What is the pasuk telling you? Bayamim ahim. How am I going to go to a show? What am I going to go to Moshe Rabbeinu? I'm going to go to a shofet in another generation. The Psukim are Pella. So Zok, the Gemara, this is what Rashi is quoting. What's it referring to? It's referring to what? A shayfet that wasn't a shayfet for you, what? Originally, because he was a karov in Israchik. Right? So basically, Rabbi Yossi Aglili is telling us what? Well, what's the Gemara trying to tell us?
It needs to be,
That karov in Israchik is kosher against who? And he's bringing a proof against who? Against Rabbi Yehuda from a pasuk in Parashat Shoftim. That pshat in the psukim Asher Yeh B'Yamim Haim is that now he became kosher. Whereas according to Rabbi Yehuda, you would not still you can't learn that pshat in the psukim because he's not still kosher. Good. Frekta Rabbeinu Yoina. I apologize. I forgot to send it to Adi. Frekta Rabbeinu Yoina on this Gemara, Bam Kasha. Mamish, I saw this Rabbeinu Yoina. It was a great kasha. Asked Rabbeinu Yoina, why is that pshat? What did Rabbi Yehuda say is possible? Yehuda says you're possible if what? If there's children. Why can't Rabbi Yehuda learn this pasuk? I was a karev, and then it's nisrachik, and there's no children. That's Rabbeinu Yoina's kasha. The Gemara says Rabbi Yossi Aglili has a pasuk, a raya against Rabbi Yehuda. There's no raya against Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda will just say the Gemara is talking about Asher Yabba Yimamim, a regular karv and nisrachik being banim. So there's no kasha. So says Rabbeinu Yoina mikoyach this kasha, which is a real strong kasha. Says Rabbeinu Yoina, must be that there's a third opinion. Must be that Rabbi Akiva is a different opinion. There's Rabbi Yehuda, that children make a difference. There's Rabbi Yossi Aglila, that even children don't make a difference. And then there's Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva, and that is who Rabbi Yossi Aglili was coming to argue with and bring a pasuk against. Amish, he makes up a Gemara. He says Rabbi Akiva holds every Isha Shemesa is puzzle even without money. That's what Rabbeinu Yonah says. Why? So that's the kasha. Chara, Rabbi Akiva needs explanation. She died before Re'iyas Ha'edus. Why would you ever say that you'd be puzzled? Why would Rabbi Akiva be of the opinion that Rabbi Yossi Aglili has to bring a pasuk that since at the Shas Re'iyas Ha'maisa there was Misa, there was Nisrachik, you're no longer related anymore, so therefore what? Therefore, you're going to be kosher. Of course you're going to be kosher. There's no relationship anymore. So I saw in a Sefer Yad Mordechai, a Sefer that I'm a very big fan of, happens to be a big Talmud Chacham from Baltimore. And he had a fascinating hesber over here based on a Yisoid of the Asvan D'Oraisa. The Asvan D'Oraisa, Rabbi Yosef Engel, in Klal Ches, raises the following shayla. He wants to know, the Gemara tells us that if you have a Yavam, and the Yavam dies, and the brother dies, right? So the halacha is, before Yibum, there's an Isser for this woman to marry anyone else before she does Chalitza, or originally in the days of the Torah, when we used to practice Yibum, she did Yibum. Those were the two options, Chalitza or Yibum. What? She's Kuka Liyavam, right. That's the Isser called Yivam Lashuk. She's Usser to be with anyone else. So, raises Rav Yosef Engel the following shayla, which is not clear. Rav Yosef Engel raises the shayla, I think the Nadi Yehuda also addresses the shayla. If she is forced to be mizana with a man in that interim period, is that Yarag Bal Yavar or not?
She still has Zika. She's like almost like a marriage.
So Adi is saying she's Zika. The Isser that's causing her to be usher to the rest of the world is from Ishus Hames, and Adi is assuming that therefore she's an Eishesish. So it should be no different than an Eishesish that has to kill herself. Yarag Val Yavor, it's Arayis. The question is, she doesn't get Chenek. If she violates this Isser, it's just a lav. So how do you have your cake and eat it too? You're telling me it's from the Zika, but the punishment is clearly a lower level. But that's exactly the Nakuda that Rav Yosef Engel wants to know. Is it that we know the Gemara tells us in Kiddushin, Misas Habal is Matir. The Gemara says in Kiddushin, the Gemara raises a kasha in Kiddushin, and Daf Yud Gimel, Meis Baila Isha Koine Esatzma, the Mishnah says in the beginning of Kiddushin, which is a fascinating Gemara. I mean, the Gemara is saying, if you would just ignore everything that I've been saying till now, the Gemara quotes a pasuk to tell you that a woman is allowed to what? Get remarried after Misas Habal. And intuitively, what would I have thought? I would have thought, it sounds like from the Gemara, that Ishus and marriage is never ending. Were it not for the Torah to be Machadish, V'koines Atzma, B'misas Habal, like the Gemara in Kedushin tells us, I wouldn't have known that she's no longer an Eshes Ish. That's a fascinating concept. If it wasn't so, depressing, I would say that's what you should say at the Sheva Brachas. This is an Ishus that continues.
If she was to willingly neglect as Kuka and marry somebody else and say, I don't care.
Meaning, no chalitza be'isr.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
from. Is that how that Kedushin that she has with the next guy?
That's an excellent kasha. That is machlekes Rav and Shmuel.
Wouldn't that be
Excellent. Exactly. Says Rav Yosef Engel. And let me ask you another kasha. And let's say she doesn't do it with such a Mesader Kedushin and in a kosher v'yosher way. Let's ask the following, Shaila. A woman, Yavam Lashuk, is mezana with this other man. So what's the din of an Eshes Ish that's mezana? Saita. What's the halacha? What's the outcome of such a promiscuous relationship? What? She's usher on her husband. She has to divorce her husband. Usher labal and usher laboyel. So Rav and Shmuel have the same machlekes. What's the din? I think it's a Gemara in Yevamos. Let me get it. What's the din?
She must do chalitza?
The din is if she went on her own and she was mizana. Yevamos, still rolling?
Yeah, but Rabbi, isn't the connection not necessarily with the late husband?
One second. Let me just try to find this Gemara. I believe it's Yevamos Tzadi. Here. Tzadi Hey. Damar Rav Hamnuna. Shemeres Yavam Shezinsa Asur Li Yavama.
Makes sense.
Right.
So this is exactly what I said. It looks like the Zika is for.
So is Ishus, right?
So the connection is not necessarily with, I don't think it stems from a late husband. I think the issue is that with the Yavam, she's a little bit married with a Yavam.
She's a little bit married. So Sadi's saying she's kuka to the Yavam. She's kuka to the Yavam. She's kuka to the Yavam.
She's a surah to the Yavam.
Right. So
the only way out, it looks like it's chalitza?
So once, according to this, she can't do chalitza anymore.
So
She's
what's
usher to him.
stuck to what? No,
She has to marry. She has.
She's also told that she can do chalitza.
I
How
don't.
else can she do anything else?
Would she need chalitza in such a situation where she was mezana?
So what's the?
You're saying there's still zika, right? L'chayra.
Yeah.
Right. But there is another machlekes, Rav and Shmuel. Oh, here. Tzadi Beis and Beis. Tzadi Beis and Tzadi Hey. Amar Rav. Minayin she'ein kedushin toifsin biyavama l'shuk. Right? Shene'emar lo siya eishes hameis hachutza li'ish zar lo tehei ba havaya. U'shmuel Omer Baniyaso tzricha get. No. You can be Toifus Kedushin. Exactly your shaila is Machlekes Rav and Shmuel. Can the Kedushin take effect? And that's one shaila that's raised by Rav and Shmuel on Tzadi Beis. And then there's another shaila, a get from the person that married her. Exactly Eitan's question. This woman,
actually a marriage?
according to Rav, it's nothing. Someone else. No.
No, I know, but
Yeah,
you
according to
assume that it's not
according
like
to Rav, that's Eitan's question. Let's say she did it. She got a Masada Kedushin and she did a Kedushin. So Rav would say, what is this? This is nothing. This is like marrying an Eishes Ish. This doesn't take effect. Shmuel holds no. It's not like marrying an Eishes Ish. So, and then the Gemara later on discusses the sugya of Yavama Lashuk if she's mezaneh, would she be usher on her yavam? So I believe it's the Beis Shmuel connects these two Gemaras and says or the Noid Yehuda. Noid Yehuda was the one who connected these two Gemaras, and he says it's Hainu Hach, it's the same shaila. If you hold that there's no Kiddushin Taisin, that means that she's like a little bit of an Eishes Ish. So Mela, so then she's going to be Aser if she's Mezaneh. But if you hold no, there's three ways to look at this. You could look at it. She has a lav to be with anyone else. So is that because she's still an Eishes Ish with her old husband, and the Torah just was mechadish? Don't give her chenek, but give her malchus. Give her the punishment of a lav. But fundamentally, the Ishus is still there. Or is it that, no, Misas Habal is matter even when there's a Yavam? The husband died. The Ishus is gone. The Torah was mechadish because the Torah told you that there's a mitzvah yibum in certain scenarios, so the Torah introduced an Isser Lav. But fundamentally, an Isser Lav is not Yarek Val Yavor. An Isser Lav is not something I have to give up my life for. An Isser Lav is not going to tell me that I'm usher to the Yavam if I didn't. It's an Isser Lav. The Torah wants to make sure that I marry this person and I take care of this. But I had to create that relationship, Yesh Me'ayin, so the Ishus HaMesh was totally severed. So that's the question that the Nosei Kalim...
it looks like that Yehuda posek acheret.
Yehuda.
Shevet.
Yeah.
It said tisaref.
Right.
He's not...
No, but Yehuda said to Saref, he didn't know who she was.
No. She wasn't... I know, but she was with someone.
But
she was...
But according to Yehuda, she wasn't a Yavama. Yehuda had no idea that it was his daughter-in-law.
No, I know. I forget. Before even...
Yeah.
He knew, he sent her, and Sheila was her Yavam, right?
Right.
And he sent her away.
Right.
And then she did what she did, but he didn't know who she was. But when he heard that she is pregnant,
you're saying you say, oh, that's true, right? You're right. When he said that she got before he found that, right?
Before he found, then she gave him.
And she got Tisaref, right?
Yeah.
Right. Again, you're assuming like the Ramban that was Yibam. I like that. That's interesting. I hear. So, but that's Shalok Kedin Legamre. Meaning no one would hold a Yavam Lashuk.
No, but she mezaneh.
So it's a laugh.
No, but he posek aleh to be.
Yeah, that's Shalok Kedin. Meaning, anyways, that's not halachic.
Yeah.
And why did she? Where did Sreifa come from?
Yeah, exactly.
So Chazal say, Rashi says she's a Bas Kohen.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Bas Kohen of who? Of shame? What? What Bas Kohen? She's not even married. What's the Right, there's no kuna, right? So it was some sort of kuna of shame, and assuming that she was, Yehuda must have held that she was mezaneh when they were alive. Is that possible?
When she was alive.
When her husband was alive.
No, her husband, her Yavam was alive.
When her Yavam was alive, right? So
Shela.
She was skuka. She was skuka, right? So that's Shaloi Kedin.
She got her stuck.
So that's Shaloi Kedin. That's Shaloi Kedin. No one holds that's Chayiv Misa, right? Yeah. It's a good kasha.
Yeah.
What was even the Havim, Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's one Gemara that l'chayra would be totally on this shaila la'alocha if it's Yarek Val Yavor. Rabbi Yosef Engel says I don't know. I'm going. He sifts through Shas. That's Rabbi Yosef Engel. It's unbelievable. Sifts through Shas and he tries to find. He quotes another Gemara. The Gemara in the end of Ksubis. Rebbe was on his deathbed, And Rebbe called over his children. He said, "Do me a favor. You gotta be respectful to mommy after I die." So the Gemara asked the Kasha, "What do you mean be respectful to mommy? There's a pasuk in the Torah, Kabed es avicha v'esimecha. Why wouldn't we be respectful to mommy?" So the Gemara says, because it wasn't their mother, it was Eshes Av. It wasn't their mother. It wasn't their birth mother. It was the father. It was their stepmother. So the Gemara. That's what the Gemara says. So Rabbi Yosef Engel says, so you see from that Gemara that if Rebbe wouldn't have asked them, they wouldn't have been mechayev anymore. Why? If you hold that the Ishus continues after Misa, so then why wouldn't it still be a chiyuv kibud of Eshes Av even lachar Misa? So that's what Rav Yosef Engel says. You see from that Gemara that the Ishus ceases to exist after Misa. So maybe don't say this at a Sheva Brachos Torah. So Rav Yosef Engel thinks it's not a Pashat Araya. He says because sometimes you have chiyuv kibud that's not a direct chiyuv kibud. Let's say the din, right? This is the old. You gotta hate this when the kids learn this Gemara, this halacha. This gets abused a lot, right? Kabed es achicha hagadol, right? You know, it's like everyone's machmer, right? Older brother, even not the oldest, yeah. Sisters, no, you know, this is the big fights in all the house. What's es achicha hagadol? So the Ramban tells us beferish, right? This will squash all the arguments. The Ramban tells us beferish that there's no real be'etzem chiyuv to be mechabed an ach. It's just that the parents want some order in the house, and that's the normal way that they should have a hierarchy. That the oldest brother that they should really be mechabed. But it's all an extension of what? Of kabed es avicha v'esimecha. Right? So you have the argument, you quote that Ramban and say, whoa, slow down. This is not being mechabed me, these machleksim. You know, this is not helping the situation. And if the Ramban knew about this, he would say that the Torah wasn't mechadish, this din. It was only to make sure that the parents get kibbud by normalcy in the family. So it could be that's the chiyuv of Eshes Av also. Meaning it's Eshes Av, there's no be'etzem chiyuv of kibbud Eshes Av. There's a chiyuv to be mechabed your father, and it's mechubadik to your father that when his wife, that you should be mechabed his wife as well, because it's going to be very problematic. He's going to bother him if you're not going to be.
Different than in-laws. Or it's the same level of chiyuv.
What, Eshes Av?
Yeah.
So no, in-laws, there is a din kibud by in-laws. The Shulchan Aruch brings down, but the Bach writes that it's the Ramak brings down a raya from Shaul and David, right? But the Bach writes that it's not a chiyuv kibud; it's just a chiyuv hider. So I don't have to go all the way that I do, like the kibudim of my father. I have to be mahader. I have to do certain things. But the Bach has certain nafkaminas that you would not be needed to be machabed as well. And even that is not a chiyuv d'oraisa. So there's nowhere in the Torah that the Gemara darshans that there's a chiyuv. That might be the rationale that it makes sense, but there's no dinei kibbud. There's an inyan to be mahader when it comes to a father-in-law, and so it could be you could be madcha that raya also. It's not a raya whether or not there's ishus hames afterwards. The whole nature of the kibbud is only when my father's alive. So over here, Rebbe had to tell them because I wasn't alive anymore. But still, do me a favor: be respectful to her. So it could be once we say all this, it could be that that's the machlekes over our Tanoim over here as well. The answer to the Rabbeinu Yonah's kasha. Rabbi Yossi Aglili was telling us Karav and Israchik from Ein Lecha Shofet Shebiyamecha that as long as there was richuk, he's no longer a Karav. So we asked, Rabbeinu Yonah says, everyone agrees to that. This is not, Rabbi Yehuda's not against it. Rabbi Yehuda was only saying when there's banim. So says Rabbeinu Yonah, no, there's another shita of Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Kiva holds Karav and Israchik. If your wife, we once married to her, so then you're going to stay puzzle. Why are you going to stay puzzle? She died. What's the reason? Could be Rabbi Akiva was of the opinion that what? Just like you have sources that Legabe the Yisr Yibam and Legabe other areas the Gemara is calling that the connection between the Isha and the Ish, even Lachar Misa, is still Chai V'Kayim and will have ramifications La Halacha. So too, maybe Legabe our Shaila in Sanhedrin, Legabe Psule Edus, maybe you could say, no, once you're married, you're always married. And once I'm always married, so the Memela, Legabe Psule Edus, Rabbi Akiva was of the opinion that the Richuk doesn't go away. And that's what the Torah is coming to be mechadish us. No, ein l'chayla shofet shebei amecha, that there is a severed relationship even legabe psul edus, and that machloikis Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yossi Aglili was about the nature of marriage, was about the nature of that specific chakira that Rabbi Yosef Engel raises, which has tremendous nafkaminas about the shaila of Yarek Val Yaver for Yavam Lashuk. So the Gemara goes on to say, Amar Rabbi Chana, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Allah Rabbi Yossi Aglili. So we're makel about this, and we hold Karovim and Israchku are considered kosher. Bnei Chamud Demar Ukva, Krovim and Israchku Havo. The what was the relationship over here? Bnei Chamud Demar Ukva. They were Krovim and Israchku. Oh, Rashi says over here, Shemesa Achosam Eshes Mar Ukva, right? Their sister died, the wife of Mar Ukva. So they were no longer Krovim to Mar Ukva anymore. Asal Kamei Ladina, they came to him for a din Torah. Amar Lahu, he said to them, Psil Nalachu Ladina, I'm puzzled. I can't judge you. Amar Lei, my daitcha, Rabbi Yehuda? What? So the Gemara says, what? You're passing like Rabbi Yehuda? Right? It says, Karav and Esrachku, if there's Banim Imenu, you're still puzzle. Anan Maisinan Igarta Mimarava De'en Allah Rabbi Yehuda. We have a letter from Yushalayim that what? Allah is not like Rabbi Yehuda. Amalahu Atu Bekaba Dekira Idbakna Bechu. What does that mean? Rashi says, Bekav shel shayva nidbakti b'chem bitmia, kolomar ani davuk b'chem klal, ela osam leitzasina ladina. I'm not glued to you. I'm not like wax that's glued to you, that's staying relationship. It's like someone saying like, hey, we're old buddies. Like, no, I have nothing to do with that's not why I'm saying I'm puzzled to judge you. Why am I puzzled to judge you? Elimishum de leitzasi ladina. Rather because you guys are mechutzafim. You guys are never going to listen to my din. I have no relationship with you, but I am not. This is a big chiddush. The Gemara is saying that a dayan is not mechuyev to dan a din Torah if he knows these people are not going to listen to him. So you can just say, go fly a kite. I'm not going to be dan you because you're going to waste our time, and then you're just going to be mavaz of the bezdin, and I don't want to judge you. So that's what Mar Ukva meant. But in Echanami, we stick with the psak that Krovim and Israchku, even if there's banim, are going to be absolutely kosher. Good. So the Gemara goes on. The last Gemara of this sugya. Oyev. Ooh, interesting. Oyev. What's oyev? Someone who really loves his friend. Feels, really close to this person. So comes along the Mishnah in the end. Ha'oyev v'asayne. Oyev zeshishpino, soine, kol shalodiber ima shloshi biyamim be'eva. What's an oyev? An oyev is one that is involved and is prepping, is helping misader for the chasana, right? The best, let's call him the best man, okay? And it's probably not an accurate definition, but people that would take care of the hachanas for the chasana. And the Sony, one who really hates him, is one that won't speak to him for 3 days, be'eva. So then that's Rabbi Yehuda. And then the Rabbanan say back, Amar le, lo nechshlu Yisrael akach. Rabbanan say back to Rabbi Yehuda, no, we don't think that because of ava or sinna, a person is going to lie in order to hurt or help their friend.
So what are they referring to, the son, or they're referring both to the
both, ohev and soneh. They don't passel by either one. La halacha, the Mishnah seems to say that there is no psul of ohev v'soneh, there's only a psul karov. So the Gemara just clarifies, ohev, v'kama, amar Rabbi Yabba, amar Rav Yirmiyah, amar Rav, kol shivas yemei hamishta. who is this Ohev? That is a Shushbino. Shushbino is the guy who's involved in the chasana. So the Gemara says, person who's there, who's the Shushbin, who's dedicated, he takes off for 7 days, and is helping him with all the chasana, with all those details. He takes off from work. He's with him. He's mamish Shushbin for all 7 days. That's a friend. That's a real Ohev. That is what Rabbi Yehuda passes. V'Rabbana mishmei de Rava amrei afilu miyom rishon ve'elach. Right? And the Rabbanon mishmei de Rava say, even from the first day and on, right? Batlu shishpinos v'kasha lahayid. Who's Rabbanon? Who's Rabbanon? So the Yad Ramah has two approaches to this Gemara. One approach is the Rabbanon of the Mishnah. The Rabbanon were saying, no, once the first day's gone, so then they're not going to be possible anymore. Batlo shishbinus v'kasha. Sounds like what? On the first day of the chasana, on the first day of Sheva Brachos, the Rabbanon would agree that there's a psul called Oyev? Wow. That's going to have tremendous nafkaminas. There is a psul of Oyev according to everyone, according to that interpretation. Yad Ramah says that's absolutely wrong. The Rabbanon over here are explaining Rabbi Yehuda's Shita, but no one is explaining the Rabbanon Shita that didn't even accept the psul called Oyev V'Soyne, so the Yad Ramah rejects this entirely. Then the Yad Ramah raises the following question. Again, I apologize that we didn't print it. Yad Ramah says, okay, Rabbi Yehuda holds an Oyev and an Oyev is Pasal Edis. But ask the Yad Ramah, that's if the Oyev is being made for the benefit of his Ahuv, his loved one. Why is he Pasal L'choiva? The Gemara had such a question L'gabe Krovim. L'yumsu avos albanim bishlama l'zchus aval l'choiva ma'ikal l'meimar. So the Yad Ramah says, why is that actually, in fact, Pasal if it's to the detriment of your Ahuv? That's the Yad Ramah's question. The Yad Ramah answers that it's not true. Because even if I'm testifying for the detriment of my friend, the amount that I'm going to testify or how badly I'm going to present the story will be affected based on my ava and be tainted, and I'll try to limit how much of a chova it is in order to help my friend. So even l'chova, he's going to be puzzled. It's not going to be full-fledged edus. I had a different approach, al derech hachinuch, to answer this Yad Ramah's kasha. Yad Ramah's premise was an oyev should only be pasul as chus, but it should not be pasul l'chayva. The Gemara doesn't seem to distinguish between the two. So the answer is potentially because an oyev has to have ahava also when they're trying to be mechayiv. Meaning, unfortunately, we often think that when we love someone, we're only supposed to do and give and benefit them. And that's the way a lot of us approach our loved ones, our family, and we're not going to necessarily put them in their place and restrict them and limit them, and that's not true. Chiyuvim also could come from ahava. Limitations can also come from ahava. Ahava is not just about benefiting. Ahava is about setting a person up. There's an ezer and there's a kenegdo. There's understanding that there is a time that they should be given something, and then there's a time that they should be restricted, they should be limited, because they should know that the world is not always like that. And love that's just about benefiting is not real love. So ava can also be one that's needed when you're going to be mechayiv someone. In addition to that, is that sometimes we're most mechuyev with ones that we love. When it comes to Ploni Almoni, I'm going to be all polite. I'm going to be all nice. I'm going to be fine. But when it comes to someone that's in my vicinity, that's in my Dalet Amos, that's my karov, that's my spouse, that's my family, that's my son, then I could be a real mechayiv, and sometimes be mechayiv even more than I would to someone that I'm not necessarily so close to. So I think the answer to this Yad Ramah's question actually teaches us Yisodos in Ahava. Yisodos in Ahava, that number one, it's not only about giving, it's not only about benefiting, it's sometimes about being mechayiv. And Yisodos about Ahava, that sometimes we mess things up, and the ones that we're so close to, we're sometimes even more difficult to. And Ahava sometimes could passel in terms of the world of chiyuvim as well, because we think that we have the ability to deal with them the way that we want, and sometimes a person needs to know you should treat him like you would an acher on the street. You should treat him like the way you want to be associated in the way that they see you interacting on the street. I should speak to my wife sometimes in the way that people see me speaking to Ploni Almoni, that I have a farhesia around, and I have people's public opinion witnessing the way that I interact. And don't be machayiv them more just because it's coming from an ahava in a closed setting.
It's a beautiful answer, but the question isn't that strong, because the question is whether or not you're kosher for Eidos. So you're kosher for Eidos, whether or not...
Right, but the assumption of the question is that ahava, the Yad Ramah's question is that ahava is assuming you're going to only benefit. It's only for schus.
Not necessarily.
Right, that's exactly what I'm answering. Not necessarily, but the reason is.
Eidos is, I don't want to be testimony because I don't want to be bothered. If I give testimony, we're kosher.
No, right. Oh, so the Yad Ramah, good. So the Yad Ramah clearly is assuming Oyev is a Nogeya B'davar. And a Nogeya B'davar wants to benefit. So he's only going to be made in one direction, l'schus. I think what Jerome is saying is 100% correct, that you didn't necessarily have to take his assumption. That Oyev may be not a Nogeya B'davar. Who says he's a Nogeya B'davar? I'm going to prove to you that there's shittas in the Rishonim, at least according to some cheshbonos, that disagree with this Yad Ramah, that an Oyev, even in the world of Rabbi Yehuda, and potentially even in the world lahalacha, is not pasul mitam chash meshaker mitam nogeya, but rather it's a psul like a karov, like Jerome is saying. Just doesn't matter which direction. You're pasul. You're pasul aid. You're a relative. You're an oyev. That creates relationship. If you remember, we learned a long time ago, and we mentioned it a few times. The Gemara in Makkas, my favorite Gemara. The Gemara in Makkas says, Nirba Yatzil. What does the Gemara say? A guy rapes another man, and the Gemara says, the Gemara asks the same question also by a murderer, as he's on his deathbed, and he's getting stabbed. The Gemara says that murderer and that roveya should never be put to death. The Gemara in Makkas asks, why? The Gemara says, because we know we have halacha, that whenever you have a group of Eidim, nimtza echad me'em karvu pasal, if one of the Eidim are pasal, so then that ruins the entire kat of Eidus. It removes the whole group of Eidim over there. So the Gemara says, so maybe he should be pasul and he should invalidate the whole Eidus. A fascinating question. Till the Gemara gets to the answer, but Mekaimei Adavar HaKosav V'daber, we're only talking about Eidim that actually have the ability to come to Bezdin and speak about the case, not someone who witnessed the Re'iyah, and that's not what we were invalidating. That's not where the din of Nintzeh Echad Me'em Karvu Pasul applies. So Taisus asks the kasha, what exactly is the psul of being a nirba? You know, what did I do wrong? You know what I'm saying? I was just a victim, and I just got abused, and you're telling me that I'm a puzzle for this case? So it says Taisus, yeah, you're a puzzle of this case, because you hate this guy's guts. You want to kill this guy. So ask the Marshal, okay, open up a Gemara in Chav Tesem and Aleph. Tell me, do we, lahalacha, paskin that a sona is pasal eidus? We don't paskin that a sona is pasal eidus. This whole Gemara is only going according to Rabbi Yehuda, says the Marshal. Gemara makes no sense. The whole Taisus is so some Marshal says, yeah, Taisus' cheshbon is in the Rabbi Yehuda. Marshal says, come on, that's not what Taisus says. Comes along the Marshal and the K'tois Achoshen paskins like this lahalacha. Comes along the Marshal and the K'tois Soine is only possible according to Rabbi Yehuda. Soine Gomer, you mamish. Yeah, there's guys in this. There's people that I won't speak to for 3 days. That's a soine, but they'll get an invitation, lamaisa. But this guy, this is a soine Gomer. That the Ktsoy says that's possible even al liba d'Rabbanan. That's possible even al liba d'Rabbanan. That's Tosfos' cheshbon in the Gemara, and because the Gemara said Nirbe would now invalidate all the edus and be Karav Apostle. And how do you passel Karav Apostle? So it must be that there's a concept called Soine. And Soine must exist even according to Rabbanan. Soine Gomer. What to think about? What happens if I'm an Oyev Gomer? I think I once raised this shiloh with Rav Shechter. What happens if I would take a bullet for that guy. I love that guy. I'm not just an oyev that I'm around for Sheva Brachos or I'm helping him out. I'd give him the shirt off my back. I'd give him my everything. I'm an oyev gomer, a relationship that's like over the top. Can he sign my ksuba? I don't know. According to this chiddush of the Ktsois, so you should take it both ways. We don't differentiate between oyev and soine. The cheshbon should be a cheshbon. Monav shach. Shechter wasn't sure. Interesting. Comes along the Shagas Aryeh. Listen to this. The Shagas Aryeh says, what happens if you're a Nogei B'davar? There's a group of Eidim, and one of them has a Nogei B'davar, and he saw the testimony, or he comes to give Eidus. Would you say that Nogei B'davar now is Nimtzeh Echem Yem Karav Apostle, the whole rest of the group is invalid because one of them are Apostle? Says the Gurus Ari, no, come on. A Nogei B'davar is not Apostle. A Nogei B'davar is what? He's a Chash Meshaker. We're worried that he's going to want to benefit. He's going to want to make this case lucrative for him, and therefore he's going to lie. But he's not like a psul, like a karov. He's not carrying any invalidation that now is going to disrupt the whole edus, blow up the whole edus. So therefore, the din of Nimtzeh Echem Yem Karav Apostle, that Gemara Makis, won't apply to a Nogei B'davar. That's what the Shagas Aryeh is mechadish, which makes sense. It's not a psul. It's just, technically, we can't accept your testimony because what? Because you were worried you might lie. No. Psul, the Karav, the Gemara says, Befeir is not because of the Giyas. The Gemara in Baba Basra says even Moshe and Aaron are not nem one for each other. Because, why? We don't think that they're ever going to say a lie. They're emes yidin. There's no negiyas. There's not. They're going to mamish say the emes. Gzeres hakosef. Psul karav is gzeres hakosef. Such a psul that disrupts the whole edus. Comes along the Shagas Aryeh and he says, if Nogeya is never going to have Nimtzeh Echem Karav Apostle, why? Because they're not a psul. They're just, technically, we're not going to accept their edus because it's not going to help us because we're worried that they're going to be lying. Liars are not psulim. Liars are people that we just can't accept their testimony. So it comes out that Nimtzeh Echem Yem Karav Apostle doesn't apply to who? To liars, to people with a chash meshaker. If the Yad Ramah, if Tosfos agreed with the Yad Ramah that the psul of Soine and Oyev was because of a chash meshaker, so what falls apart, Lefi the Shagas Aryeh? You would never have been able to explain the Gemara in Makos to say Nimtzeh Echem Yem Karav Apostle due to a Soine. If Soine is just chash meshaker and Oyev is just chash meshaker, then you would never say Nimtzeh Echem Yem Karav Apostle. You're just saying he's Apostle. We can't accept his edus, but he doesn't affect everyone else. Muchach from the Shagas Aryeh, if we link it to the Tosfos Shita by Oyev Gomer, is that he held Oyev and Soine in our Gemara is a psul karav, like Jerome said. It's a psul. And it would be enough to what? That Tosfos would say, Nir B'yatzil, that he's going to disrupt all of the kat, the whole group of the edus, that you would even apply the principle of Nimtzeh Echem Yem Karav Apostle, and it wasn't just a chash meshaker, that I'm not going to accept his edus.